Is the light good? Anyway, yes. Welcome to the first live of since we all have an agreement and we all understand, this has been out of many one boss man, right? I don't know why I've never, because no, it's a lot of fun. If you ever see what my dog just do, that's hilarious. Like there are times when your dogs do things and you wonder, like, why did this dog do that? And then you go, right, they can't tell you that they love you, they have to show you. That's just what it is. So you just have to just accept it for what it is. Yeah, no, obviously this is my first live. Well, not my first live, our first live. So this is where I break the fourth wall and at the same time commit to it, right? So as you realize, this is the casual with the bucket hat. So once you see that, that's a little more, yeah, Bossman Champloo kind of thing, right? And you see a little bit of the cinema back here, right? So maybe for the fun of it, I'll pause the live and just kind of switch into the different the different characters and such, right? But you know what, yeah, maybe I feel like I can only do this once a week. I can only do this once a week because there's a lot for me to do. Because watch this, I just saw a tweet, right, from, and remember this is Champloo, so therefore I have to talk the MMA talk, right? What's his name? Why am I saying it like Johnny Bones Jones, right? The youngest, light heavyweight champion of MMA, right? Is a big name. It's a big deal, right? But I see a tweet now. I should have taken the picture, sent it to my other device so I can actually show you what he said. So it's going to be difficult because now I have to paraphrase, or I might be able to go on Facebook and find what he said. I wonder if I can do that. Because if I can do that, I can get away with this, So let me see. Let me see if I can get away with that. Let me see. I'm switching tabs. All right. That might be a problem because I don't know. Did I share it to a story? I don't think I did. Alright, let me switch to my local. Yeah, but because I don't want to paraphrase. That's the problem. Like John Jones said some things and I want to kind of address it because I feel like, alright, let me see. Low kick MMA. That's the community on Facebook that I saw this post. So okay, wait, what? Hold on, let me move this phone a little bit. All right, hold on. All right, big out to Daniel Cormier. Cormier is giving John Jones him props. He's saying John Jones would probably have beaten Tom Aspinall. He's honestly that good. And in all fairness, he's proven that, right? But no, we'll never know, right? But I want to go back to, really? I'm not even going to say that, but that's not the tweet I want to. Here we go. All right, good. So, all right, let me. I am supposed to do this on Bossman Champloo specifically, but let me flip around the camera so you can see. Right? So look at what it says here. I'm gonna try and read it like he's talking. Like, I guess everybody else gets to retire, just not when you're still dominating. Funny how that works. Forget personal goals, forget business ventures. Some folks really believe you should fight until they say you've had enough. Wild. Imagine thinking a grown man shouldn't control his own destiny. Alright, so that's what he said. Okay? So now I'm going to flip back the camera. No? Alright, good. Yeah? So that's what he said. Now, you know, this is not a bashing of Johnny Bones Jones. It's not even about that. But this is just about the way he handled it, right? You had people petitioning to strip the belt off of you. That's how much of a media storm you created by not giving people, like you left a lot of people in limbo. You left Dana White in limbo. People kept asking him at press conference, when are we getting the fight? When are we getting the fight? Are we getting the fight? So you had the UFC heads looking crazy. You know, you had them looking kind of suspect. You hung them out to dry pretty much, because now they're trying to get people to believe something that's never gonna happen. I mean, he kind of hinted at it when he said, if I'm not mistaken, he said, I've already told the UFC my plans. That line right there, right? So here's the thing, if we're talking about Habib, right, Nurmagomedov, and I always have a problem saying that Nurmagomedov, I don't know, right? But anyway, what did he say when he was retiring? He said, I made a promise to my mom that if my father passed, I will not be fighting anymore. Dana has tried to get the man back into the octagon, and he has not been successful in that. In other words, Habib decided that he was going to retire the moment that he said he would. You know, he made that promise. He made the promise to himself that, look, my father is not here anymore. I'm going to honor my promise to my mother that I'm not going to fight anymore. So that's what he did. He was not going to accept a belt that he did not win. If he feel like he never earned it, he wasn't going to do it. Then him come back and beat Michael Bisping. So there's a reason why they look at other fighters favorably and more honorably than John Jones, simply because there was no mixed messages. There was no trolling. You know what I mean? Like, he spent a lot of time talking about Uncle Chael, talking about DC. You know, he spent a lot of time talking about even Francis Ngannou, a fight that you ducked as well. You ducked that fight as well, right? So it's one of those things where, you know, I mean, we just have to call a spade a spade. It's not that nobody, be straight with the people. That's what they wanted. If you were going to retire, just say that you were going to retire. That's the real problem. More so than anything else. If you're going to retire, just retire. Cut and dry. That's it. Ain't nobody asked you to do nothing else. So you had you who were going on Twitter creating a little media storm with all of the mixed messages and maybe it's happening, maybe it's not. Then we have Dana now, who is attempting to say, yeah, the fight's gonna happen. In other words, he's in negotiation, he's in talks, and it got to a point where you could see the visible frustration in his face. You could see it. I mean, there are so many people in the MMA world that spoke on it. Just anybody that talk combat sports, boxing, MMA, anybody who talks about anything that involves the kicking and punching and grappling of individuals, yeah, anybody who talks about that spoke on this topic, and they saw the frustration in Dana White's face. They saw it. He got tired of people asking him the same question, and he must have come up with new lies. You know, and people were petitioning to strip the belt off of him. Alright, hold on, I have to wait until that passes. So anyhow, it's not that you're retired, it's the how. It's the how. It's not that you leave an organization, it's the how. It's the how. You could have retired like everybody else did. You could have said after your fight with Miocic, right? With after your fight with Stipe, you could have announced it right then and there. Yo, I'm retiring. You know, I don't have any more fights left in me. Blah blah blah. You could have done that. That's not what you did. Because most fighters tend to retire in the octagon after their last fight. DC did it like that. A lot of fighters did it after they're like, fam, I'm tired of chasing the belt and the belt being further and further away from me. I'm tired. I've been chasing this belt for the longest. So I don't think I have much left. Like I'm too old now. I'm not young like I used to be. So it is not that you retired, it's how you did. You know, people kept saying how him mash up him legacy, all of these things. Is, you know. And the truth of the matter is, people wouldn't have anything to say if you had just been straight with everybody. Just say, I have no intention of fighting Tom. None. You hinted it, but you never stated it. That's the thing. You never stated outright, I will not ever fight him. So people thought that it was just this little rigmarole that you were doing just to build up hype for the fight. So it was a 50-50. It's a flip of the coin. You're not sure. It could have been heads. It could have been tails. You are leading people on. That's all that happened. You were leading people on. You made people think that there was a chance. It's like when your girlfriend breaks up with you and says, oh, let's just be friends. No, that is dangerous, because now you're going to hold on to the hope that you can work your way back, because you were already friends. So you think you can work your way back into being the man. Next thing you know, you're up on the phone with her, giving her advice on what to do with the real love of our life, with the man that she replaced you with. Like, that's sort of what John Jones was doing to us, the public. You're leading us on. You're giving us sort of, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I had to use a real life kind of scenario so that you can understand why it is that people have a problem, not with your retirement, but the way you went about it. You know, I don't know if any of the MMA gurus, the DJs, the Ariel Elwanis, or the Uncle Chael and DC, I don't know if they're ever going to see this video, but if there is ever an analogy for what John Jones did to the fighting public, that's what he did. You led us on, man. You led us on. You made us think it could happen. You gave us hope. Even if it was 50%, 50% is still enough. you know, if it's 0.5, it's still enough. It's enough of a chance that it's like, okay, it's right here. It's not really over there yet, but it's not really over here. You know what I mean? So it's not quite yes, but it's not quite no. You understand? Like, that's what the problem was. So I felt the need to actually go into that, you know. But anyway, that's enough of the Bossman Champloo segment of the story. So, you know, if I feel so compelled to actually continue this narrative on the Bossman Champloo page, then I will do that. But you know what? Let me do a little wardrobe switch. Since this is Out of Many 1Bossman, I might as well play the part, so why not? So give me a second while I do that little change. Let me do that right there. Hold on. All right. Good Lord. Look at what I did to that, man. Look at what I did. All right. Yeah. All right, hold on. My lighting is rubbish. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Hold on. Let me can I switch to something a little more? There we go. All right. Yeah, look at what not dark mode can do for you. Yeah. Anyway, this is the you know, more of your favorite films, your favorite TV series, your anime, your manga. That's what all of this is about. So, you know, if anybody wants to know what this is my attempt at looking like an admiral from One Piece. So there's that. Right? What the hell? Okay, yeah, never mind. Yeah, sorry. Got distracted by a WhatsApp notification. Yeah, so this is the, you know, so Bossman Champion before, this is no Bossman Cinema, right? So, you know, just so we know, we're compartmentalizing, right? We're working appropriately, right? No, I'm trying to remember which episode I'm at right now. I think I'm at episode 529 of One Piece, I think. And there was something that I wanted to do because I wanted to see what the hype was about. Like, I wanted to see why people consider this the best story ever written, blah blah blah. You know, everybody has their favorite. Everybody has their, you know, okay, Death Note is the best, or One Piece is the best, or, you know, whatever their favorite is, you know, My Hero Academia, whichever one of them, you know, everybody has a favorite. So, and then of course there's arguments about the big three, who the big three really are, but they say it's actually a statistical fact that the big three is Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach, and that makes sense, right? If you're looking at when they came out and the fact that they were the top three, it boils down to the time. It boils down to what was the, in other words, they were viral before the word viral was a thing. Let's just put it that way. Like, because no, you know, we used to say the word popular, we used to say the word celebrity. We don't use those words anymore. We use viral now. We use trending, viral. Trending and viral, those are the two words. We don't use popular and celebrity. Them the words, we don't use that again. But I had some funny commentary about some of my characters, like Nico Robin. Oh, Nico Robin. Okay, we have her, and then we have obviously we have Nami. I have something, yeah, I have something funny about Nami too, right? But then I have reservations, right? So just a few of my reservations. Let's talk about them in terms of like what prevents it from being the absolute best. I'll tell you what that is. For me, imagine you have, like, let's say ballpark, you have 1100 episodes. There's more, you know, but let's cap it at 1100. Half of that is 550, right? Now, I cannot say with any degree of confidence that 505 or 550 of those episodes, right? I can't say of the 550 episodes that the majority of it was the best thing I've ever seen. You know, I feel like one of the problems that I've had is that the build up to the punchline, I feel like a lot of nothing happens, and there are not enough ways to make it interesting leading up to the major event. I feel like the major event is really worthwhile, but the build up and the lead up to it is usually, to me, it's usually weak. And when I compare it to things that some people might not even consider anime, if I were to compare it to, say, Castlevania, I would argue that Castlevania is better written than One Piece. Why? Because there are no episodes wasted. I don't feel like watching any episode of Castlevania is a waste of my time. I can even say that about other contemporaries like Samurai Champloo and Full Metal Alchemist. None of those episodes ever feel like a waste of your time. They just don't. Right? What else? Come on, no. All right, yeah. I was thinking, Young Justice. Young Justice is another one. What's the other one I was thinking about? Oh, even Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is not my favorite. I feel like the entire first season was a waste of my life, but season 2 and 3 were good. So at least, you know, you get 2 out of 3. That's a pass. 67%. That not bad. You know, but all right. To be fair, not all of season 1 was a waste. But there are some episodes where I'm like, I feel like season 1 did not do enough for me to be interested in waiting for season 2. That's how I feel about that. Right? And then we're not even go. Let me just give you an analogy. I was 17 when I first played Metal Gear Solid. Right? Now that game originally came out in like 1998. Around the time when Resident Evil 2 came out, Final Fantasy 7, I think Gran Turismo came out around, I don't remember. But I do remember that somewhere between 1998 to 99, a lot of heavy hitters in the PlayStation library came out, right? No, Silent Hill never come out yet. I don't think so. No, Silent Hill might have been a little bit after. But still, Silent Hill was a heavy hitter too. But the point is, when Metal Gear Solid came out, it was sort of like lightning in a bottle, that's one. And then two, you're a victim of your own success, because now you created such a phenomenon that people want to see you repeat that. They're like, yo, we need another one. We need a part 2. We need a part 2. And this is where toxic communities now become a problem, because after a while, man start get death threats for real, which is kind of ridiculous. I mean, if somebody is doing the work, let them work. You know, but when you're sending them death threats to continue a story that they probably want to put down, it's kind of crazy, right? However, I will say that a negative and a knock on Hideo Kojima is this, and pay attention to this. He's a little bit of a in our terms in Jamaica, him frightened for people. Him frightened for celebrity. Right? In other words, him want to work with the Hollywood stars and them thing there. But the people who made his game what it was, the voice actors, the original set of voice acting cast that he got, that brought him to the dance, that made the game what it was. Especially David Hayter, who is the quintessential voice of Solid Snake. It's like if you get up and look at Kevin Conroy and say, don't play no more Batman. Kevin Conroy is the voice of Batman. The ultimate voice of Batman. Just like Mark Hamill is the ultimate voice of the Joker. So with that in mind, when you see the importance of like the staple that somebody created for your lore, for your video game, the least you can do is give them the respect that them deserve. And unfortunately, Kojima never really had a good working relationship with David Hayter, who is arguably the person that made it. In other words, you owe that man. The performance that he put on is what made Solid Snake Solid Snake. And then only to hear that from Metal Gear Solid 2, you've been trying to replace him with like, what the man name? Kiefer Sutherland. Because what? Because he's a Hollywood actor? Yeah, celebrity turn people into an idiot. It does. You know? So the reason why I went on this little Metal Gear tangent is that I wanted to make an analogy about, say, Boruto and Legend of Korra. Right? The reason why I wanted to do that is because when Metal Gear Solid 2 came out, you know, something that Bossman Teaching spoke about earlier, John Jones leading people on, well, Kojima led us on. He made us believe that in Metal Gear Solid 2, we were going to get Solid Snake, the character that we played back in the day, that we were going to get him in the new gen and play him for 90% of the game at the very least. We thought he was going to be the star of the show. And he was. but he wasn't a playable star of the show for more than 10% of the game. So in other words, we were lied to. And then what we got instead was what? Was Raiden. We got Raiden instead of Solid Snake. And that's what Boruto is. People never get over the Naruto nostalgia. So what happened? When you get in Boruto, they're like, what is that? I don't want this. I didn't ask for this. I didn't order this. That's how people treat Boruto, and that's the reason why Boruto has the stigma or the stain that it has on it. Right? It's not even about living up to the legacy. It's about the fact that I feel like Boruto came out a little bit too early. Maybe if they had waited a little bit longer before they release it, maybe it would have been received a little bit more favorably. And then same thing with Legend of Korra. People wanted to see the gang that hangs out with Aang. They wanted to see them grow up and see them evolve. That's what they wanted as the next chapter. So to see that we move and just with time skip all the way to generations after them dead, or even if them never dead, but a few of them not around anymore, and you skip all the way to Korra, yeah, you're gonna see how people they're not going to receive that very well. So yeah, that was the reason for me, bringing that up. So yeah, choose who, choose you. That should be the lesson, but some people don't believe that, so I'm referring to Kojima with his treatment of the voice actors that made Metal Gear popular. And so I was remembering when we got Raiden is not what we wanted. We wanted to play as Solid Snake, right? But it's funny, I don't think we understood the subtlety that Kojima pulled off, right? I'll go tell you why. When you're playing as Raiden, he gives you all the hints that he's pretty much the new Grey Fox. But I never see it. Like all the little acrobatic, like, the little windmill somersaults that he would do, right? Him getting a sword at the end of the game to fight Solid or Snake. It's like, wait a minute. Why does he have a sword and not a gun? Why? And then we get Metal Gear Solid 4, and it's like, okay, it was foreshadowing. The entirety of Metal Gear Solid 2 was shadowing for Metal Gear Solid 4, and obviously, yeah, there's a lot of chronological confusion, right? So Metal Gear Solid 3, if anybody knows the lore, is actually what I would call Metal Gear Zero. It's what started the entire, in fact, when I was going to school, a friend of mine had a magazine that was showing off promo for Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, and he was saying to me, oh, this is like, Solid Snake in the 60s or whatever. And I literally did a calculation, because I'm like, wait, Solid Snake is born in 1972. Him and Liquid, they're born in 1972. You are not going to tell me that somebody born in 1972 would have been alive in 1964. That's not Solid Snake. Furthermore, Eye Patch, this is Big Boss. I said that to everybody that would listen. I said, listen, this is not Solid Snake. This is Big Boss. It was Big Boss. It could not have been him, because what? Him never born in the 60s. And even if he was, how old would he be in Metal Gear Solid that we played? He would have been the same, almost the same age as Ocelot. And that explains why Ocelot could do everything that he did from the beginning to the end of Metal Gear. Listen, Ocelot is the GOAT of that series. And anybody who pay attention to playing Metal Gear Solid 3, that man triple crossed 3 nations. The man betrayed China, he betrayed America and Russia just to serve him own crew of people. Now, Ocelot was doing it from day one. At the ripe age of 20 years old. Born in 1944. Yeah? And then, if you follow it up to like Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, the man gave a chilling warning to, let me see if I remember what his name, Master Miller, Kazuhira Miller. Him look upon him and say, so this is how I see it, and this is where we stand. Yeah? I understand that you are having reservations about your lack of involvement in protecting Big Boss. So let me just explain how this works. If you, for whatever reason, go back to Cypher and you decide to betray this trust that we already don't have in you, and you decide that you're going to go back to Cypher, I'm going to team up with the other son, and you and I will have to go at one another. You will have to kill me and I will have to kill you. Are you okay with that? Yeah? That's the warning that Ocelot was being very passive about it too. Because he was giving him the warning, but I don't think he took it as seriously as he should have. Because a couple years later, we're playing Metal Gear Solid. Yeah? And we're talking to Master Miller thinking it's him. Nah, that man been dead for 3 days. So the person that called you on the codec, that was Liquid. The whole time. The whole time. Now mind you, it's not fun if you know that before you play the game. But when you're playing it and you realize, wait. Yeah. No, I think I made a video before about Foxhound versus not Dead Cell. Dead Cell, no. We're not even gonna talk about them. They're not even a crew. There are only like 2 people on it that's worth a damn. Like Solidus Snake, Fat Man, that's it. And Ocelot don't count because Ocelot is on nobody's side. Ocelot ain't been on anybody's side. So anyhow, yeah, a little bit of gaming, a little bit of anime. Look at that. But yeah, the point being is that sometimes, because of the nostalgia that we have, the attachment that we have to the previous character, Solid Snake is our Naruto, Solid Snake is our Aang, right? So if you ask for Aang and you get Korra, you go vex. If you ask for Naruto and get Boruto, you go vex. If you ask for Solid Snake and you get Raiden, you go vex. And that's kind of why I went on that tangent. So anyhow, now I will go on to the other members of Ultra Mini 1Bossman. So that's me. Yeah, Champloo before. This is Cinema now. So yeah, for now I'm signing out. We'll go move on to Bossman Digital Media. Yeah. So just give me a few. Give me a few. Give me a few. Okay, there we go. All right. So, since we all have an agreement and we all understand, seriously, a minor inconvenience that ruins your day. Yeah. Mental toughness. It's not easy. This life is not for the weak, and it's not for the weak. However you want to spell that, whether it's W-E-A-K or W-E-E-K. Yeah, it's not for the weak, and it's not for the weak. Yeah. So, yes, this is the, this is the I'm doing palette swaps, as you can imagine, right? So this is the fit for Bossman Digital Media, right? And I mean, just to put a long story short, I'm my own version of, some of the TED Talks folks that you've been seeing, the Simon Sinek's and the Myron Goldens and the Alex Hormozes, the Gary V's of the world. Yeah, this is my attempt at that. But of course, I'm just going to be me because I'm not anybody else. Yeah, no, I have a segment that speaks to that. It's called Sup with Bro, right? Slightly unprofessional presentation with Bossman rambling on. No. Listen, man. I don't want them to be told about them fabric. You know what I mean by that. If you know, you know what I mean. I don't want to tell people about them fabric. Yeah, so what I do, great. What are you talking about? Unstable connection? Yeah, okay, this is what I get for being in the corner of the room. Whatever, man. Yeah, I'm losing it, man. I'm losing it. What time is it? It's only 9:29 in the morning. Why did I choose to do this at this point in time? Yeah, all the truck them at just. By the way, that's a hand. Yeah, okay. Just because I know that can look a little awkward, right? But I made a video on of course the native page, Bossman Digital Media, and the question is what to do when people don't want to hire you. What you gonna do? Yeah, that's the, because if you think about it, it is always possible for you to try and land the interview or try and get whatever opportunity is there, and there's the interview process. You go through the interview process, you're talking to them, you're saying all the right things, and then after that they're like, no, we have applicants that we put over you and all of that. So what do you do when they don't choose you? What do you do when? Alright, no, come on, man. Firefox is killing me. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see if I can I do that? Oh, sorry. Yeah, it got a little dark. Let me fix that. Yeah, I go close it just for now. I can't bother. I'm tired of seeing the notification pop up over and over again. Mind you, that works if like I put on my phone and I need to see what's going on when I'm charging my phone. Yeah, there's that. But yeah, there are lazy ways to make content. It's really fun. You know what you can do? A video that you've already recorded, just do this and then take your phone and put in front of it and be like, yeah, you see that? I'm supposed to post that later. You're like, yeah, if you're wondering why I've not posted anything, you say, well, I have so much and I'm combing through, I'm going date by date and all of that. Speaking of that, hold on there. Because Optimus Prime cousin them decide say, yeah, like Foggimus Prime or whatever. Like, trust me, it's annoying. But anyway, where was I? Yeah. You see, alright. So, obviously, when you're making content or whatever, right? There's a trap you want to avoid. Here's a trap you want to avoid. Avoid being a consumer. And it's happened to me, trust me. If you don't have discipline, it will happen to you. You'll get on this page and be like, yeah man, I'm gonna upload something. And next thing you know, see here, You just a scroll and you're being entertained. Meanwhile, your content is suffering because you don't post nothing yet. You know? So that's a trap you want to avoid. You have to have the discipline though. You have to have the discipline though. You understand? You have to have the discipline. And it's not it. I'm saying it to me because I have fallen for it. You understand? So you have to decide, say, hey, no distractions. I am posting my content today because I need to go viral. Them viral already. Everybody, them, you know, say, oh, good. When I repost, oh, no, not repost me. Speaking of that, don't be afraid to post on LinkedIn because they might like what you have to say over there. They might like it. Because like what I do here, I should post over there. I haven't done it yet. I've been working around it, but guess what? The other day I posted my Bossman Teaching. Seeing that I can break the fourth wall now anyway. I mean, this is the ultimate 1Bossman little experience. So there's no pretense here. So you know, I'm still trying to maintain the illusion that we're 4 different people, but you know, just between me and you. You know what I mean? Anyway, so posted the Bossman Teaching and the only one first person tutor on LinkedIn, and people were like giving rounds of applause, and I'm like, oh, you support people that come up with their own. In other words, for the hip-hop heads, you write your own lyrics. You understand? You know, whether it's the dancehall, grime, or hip-hop. You're not a ghostwriter, right? And you're not plagiarize, you're not bite no style. There you go. So people like it when you come up with your own. I like that. Originality, authenticity, all these things. Yeah, man. Right and left hand to God. Yeah. So again, you have to have discipline and also come up with a method to your madness. Right? Now for me, yeah man, continue. For me, have days that you go record and then every other day you post. You know, you have to compartmentalize. Yeah, you have to compartmentalize, and I'm learning to do that because I made mistakes. Yeah, in fact, here's another thing that is a habit that I've tried to develop. So you have YouTube, you have TikTok, and you have the video that you've recorded. And you know, all right, no, my board is here. All right, let me show you a little secret, right? This looks backwards to you, right? That go look backwards to you. Now let me show you how I fix that problem when I'm going live. When I want to fix that problem, and I want to say to you, okay, there's a file, the name of a file. Hold on, let me see if I have a black marker there. Hold on there. So let's say I'm talking about the year. I'm gonna make sure. Say, wait there. Yeah. So the year. Okay. See? Look at that. I had to write that in reverse to get that to work. So okay, what's today's date? Today is the 25th of June. Alright, so that means I need to write 0625. Okay. So we have 0 here. 6. Right? Yeah. Yeah? Now, after that, you'll have an underscore, right? You'll have an underscore after that. And then, let's say the time. Let me look at the time now. It's 9:36 right now. So it's going to say something to the effect of 0, 9, I want to make sure I say it line up good enough, but you know, it's difficult to write backwards. It really is. Shout out to Papoose and Nas. Nas is rewind and Papoose is alphabetical slaughter. Shout out to that. Alright, so this is 0936. And let's just say 44 or something like that. You know, whatever. Let me give it enough space. Okay. So let me see. Yeah. Now that looks a little, what's the word? Crude. Right? Looks a little crude. But that is what your file might look like, right? Let us say you have a file and your file name come out as this. Right? Now, this 2025 is the year. 06 is June. Right? So this is the year 2025, this is June, and it's June 25, right? So this tells you exactly when the actual day the day, the month, and the year that you did your video. So it's good to know about that, right? Then this tells you the time. So if you record a series of videos and you see this as your first thing, your 093644, then let's say you say 0945, whatever. That tells you the time that you did each video. So if you can do that, then the best thing you can do, so when you're saving this file and you save it to, let's say, YouTube or TikTok or whatever, don't change the name of that until just upload it raw with this name. Because let's say you have a lot of them in your draft. Then what you can do is say, oh, I did this at this time. So you'll know in chronological order when you recorded those videos. So you can keep track of everything. So you know when you recorded it, the order in which it was recorded, and then now you can start naming them after. So upload it raw first. And then after you upload it raw, then you can make your changes. Yeah? So this advice I'm giving to you and myself. Yeah? And look at that. You see the difference? If I write the normal way, it look backwards. But if I write in reverse, you understand? So that's a little troubleshooting if you're in a live. If you're ever in a situation where you want people to see things the right way, then learn to write in reverse. Because as you notice, this is me writing like I'm recording. So if I'm recording, I can write like this. But if I'm going live, I have to write in reverse. Yeah? So you can literally see the difference. Now, funny story. This is the board that probably Bossman Teaching is going to have to use, and he's going to be up next. Right? So a little bit of, the quadratics and whatever. So he'll probably write one of those questions in reverse for you to see, right? Why not? Maybe that's what we can call this series. Either I'm breaking or not breaking the fourth wall. Who knows? Yeah. So, yeah, I feel like that's it's like you have to come up with a method to your own madness, so that if you follow that, then you know, okay, I know when I posted this video, right? Because you might look in your drafts or whatever and you look and say, Chana, all of these names are these file names. They don't mean anything to me. 2025, this, that, what the hell that mean? I figured it out. And now that I figured it out, yeah, I'm a little bit more at peace. Because now I can organize. Because when you start learning how to organize, it change how you operate. Right? So you learn how to be more organized, and by doing that you learn how to follow your own schedule. So you say here what? Saturday and Sunday, record. Monday to Friday, loan posting. I not record nothing on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. If anything, you can go live in that time. But you're not recording. So set your recording days different from your uploading days. So record on Saturday, record on Sunday, upload Monday to Friday. Saturday, Sunday, record, upload Monday to Friday. If your schedule is different, it can be. It could be you record Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday to Sunday, you post. You can do that too. Right? That's also a possibility. So there you go. Anyhow, this is going to be a smoother palette swap. So we're gonna go from Bossman Digital Media now to Bossman Teaching. So anyhow, You don't look out for that. Just look out for that. So give me a second while I wear many hats. You know, said the wrong thing I do a while ago, right? But flip the camera. Okay, that was rather quick, right? So, yeah, hold on. Yeah, all right. So, yeah, once it's the black and black, then yeah, Bossman Teaching is back, yeah? So, I'm gonna erase a little part down here. You know, it's funny, we have a joke amongst each other, right? I'm the Leonardo, you were just speaking to Donatello. The first person you saw was Raphael, and the person you saw second, so the first person you saw was the Raphael. The next person was the Michelangelo. Who you saw before me was Donatello. I'm now Leonardo. So, you know, yeah, that's a little Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles joke we got going on. Yeah? Really? Listen to me. Listen to me, man. This jigsaw puzzle thing. Come on, man. What you doing? What you doing? What you doing? In the middle of the life. Alright, so yeah. Remember all of that? So let me see if I can write one of these quadratic equations in reverse. So let me write 7x squared plus 27x. Let's see if I can get that done. Plus 8. Okay. It never have no minus sign. Didn't have a minus sign on it there. So let's do that and see what that looks like. Now, Bossman Digital Media and I, we share a lot of philosophies. In other words, if they're not going to hire you, hire yourself. Make up your own thing. Do your own thing. Because, you know, you really? We all have the same problem. We all have a HCF. Our HCF is that noise right there. Yeah, you see how the maths come in? Ah, look at that. See? So that's this question right here. Yeah? That question right there. So I've written it in reverse so you can see. Yeah? So it's funny, I did a live where I actually had to write all the solutions to the question. I had to write everything in reverse. Yeah, it was kind of crazy. Kind of was. Word? Hold on. Okay, so here's the joke. You have this number 8, you have that number 7. Right? Now, this is already a prime number, so you don't have to worry about that. But then you have 8, which is 222, right? So let's write that. Mind you, I have to be consistent, right? Let me be. There's something I forgot. Where's my bag with my markers? Where's my bag with my markers? Hold on. Let me. I'm going to cheat the system, right? Wait, what? All right, that was an accident. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. All right, give me a second. Hold on. I'm going to look for my marker then. What did I do with them? I mean, it has everything. You're going to hear me in the back. Ah, there we go. All right, I found it. Because the last thing I want to do is write with something that is pretty much on its way out, on its last leg. Right? So, all right, let me flip that camera now. All right, hold on there now. Yeah, all right. Let me dip in the bag for the other marker then. Really? Look how I'm about the number 35. Hold on. Alright. So we have Oh wait, hold on. We have 3 2s and the 7. Alright, good. 3 2s and the 7. Oh, I see, I see. Yeah. I'm trying to see how that works. But yeah. So the 2 by 2 by 2, that represents the 8, and the 7 is just 7, right? So I had to put that together so that I can, because what I'm trying to do is replace this middle term right here, right? So that's what I want to do. Hold on. Is that a red marker? Yes, it is. Right? So I am trying to replace this right here. I'm trying to replace that 27x. No, it means I have to add the numbers in a way that give me the number 27. So what does that look like? Does this even work? Oh yeah. Now I see why. Look at what I did. The number is not 8. That's why this never did ever work. So let me fix that. The number was not 8. The number was actually 18. Yep. Because I was wondering, yo, why is this not working? Like I was wondering, like, it's 18, not 8. Ah, so that's different. So now you have 2 by 3 by 3, which is 18 and 7. Alright, so let me write that. 2, 3, 3, and the 7. So let me do that. Let me do 2 by 3 by 3 by 7. Alright. So we're going to multiply all of that. There we go. Right. No. See it there? Now when you arrange these numbers, guess what you're going to do? You're going to make an arrangement. So it could be 3 by 3, 7 by 2. It could be what? 14 plus 9. That will give you 23. But that's not 23. So that's not going to work. Right? No, you don't have a choice. Right? Look at this. You have 7 by 3. Right? That give you what? That give you 21. And then 3 by 2. That give you 6. 21 plus 6. Let's see if that works. And you know what? You can even do that. You can even do that. I didn't even factor in that possibility. When you get your answer, what you can do is, hold on. So the first number we had was the 21, and this is 6. If you multiply 18 by 7, you get the same number as when you multiply the 21 by 6. Right? I'd imagine that. But let me double check that just to be sure. Yeah, 2 by 3 by 3 by 7. Right? 2 by 3, 3 by 7. 21, yeah, perfect, yeah. So for example now, 18 by 7, yeah, 56. Right? 5 plus 7 is 12, yeah. So you'd have 126 if you multiply 18 by 7. If you multiply 21 by 6, you get the same what? 126. So therefore, this multiplied by that give you 126, and this by that give you 126. However, this gives you 27. Now, more importantly, if we had put x here and x here, well, that looks a lot more like what? 21x plus 6x. Here we go. So therefore, we have what we're going to replace it with, right? That's what we do. So now we can write 21x, 6x, I tell you, this is an exercise in concentration. Just imagine me constantly having to write in reverse in order to, you know, to keep the lesson going. All right, let's see. So what I have here, well, everything is going to be a plus, so it doesn't really matter. And therefore, yeah, so you see we've successfully replaced 27x with 21x plus 6x. And of course you can factorize that now, right? So you can find the HCF of 7 and 21. You can find the HCF of 6 and 18, right? Chances are you're going to have what? 7x times x plus 3. And then on the other side, you're probably going to have what? 6 times x plus 3. Yeah, so you're going to have 7x plus 6 times x plus 3. Yeah. Yeah. So look at that. I wrote in reverse and it still worked. Yeah, that's not, no, that's an exercise in concentration the whole way through. You know what it is for teach the normal way. Now you have to write in reverse for make it work. Because you can see the clear difference, right? You can see that. Everything here, yeah, flip around. But now this look normal. Why? Because I'm writing it in the other way. The topic is called transformations. How about that for reflection? Don't it? Yeah, we just reflected. You know what I mean? We just reflected. So yeah, we just did number 1, which is I mean that did kind of easy. You know what? I wonder if which one I want to do. All right, I go to the other one. I go to number 4 for fun, right? Can you have some numbers, right, that have like the prime numbers in there and you wonder how you get? No, 46 is not prime. 46 you can divide by 2 and get 23. But it has a prime number in there though. It does. So 2 times 23 give you 46. But here's the thing. 46 don't have much in common with 45 and 63. Because 45 and 63 are multiples of 3. Don't have a 2 in there. So it's not like you can divide 45 by 2 without a remainder, or 63 by 2 without a remainder, right? Yeah, look at that. Oh, I'm putting on a show. Let's go. All right, so all right, so we have listen, man. Oh, the concentration is so real. All right, so we have 45, right, x to the 2, and we're gonna add that to that, and then yeah, right. Now let me put it in blue. So we are going to replace. We're going to replace the 46x. Right? Now we have 45 and 63. This is 9 times 5. This is 9 times 7. 3 by 3 by 5. 3 by 3 by 7. So let's look into that. So 3 by 3. 3 by 3 by 5, and 3 by 3 by 7. Let's see. Alright. So multiply here, multiply here, multiply here, multiply here, multiply there. Okay. So now we have this. So let's see what we got here. Alright. Oh, sorry. My bad. Yeah? So we have it come up perfect. No. 3 by 3 is 9. 9 by 9 is 81. So I'm going to say this right here is 81. This right here is hold on. I know I did something crazy. What did I do? You know what? Hold on. I'm gonna have to concentrate, man. Let me make sure I said the right thing to do. What? Hold on. Let me see. Alright, yeah, that part is 81 for sure. Okay, cool. That's 81. I just want to make sure that I have my alright. See, you know what? It's fine. I'll probably remember to write this. So let me just give myself a space. Let me give myself a space. I can probably watch back the video and get back that question anyway. So let me give myself a space. So there we go. Right. So we have one part that is 81, the other part is 35. Now the real question is, how do we know this works? Well, alright. So we have this. Let's put the x beside them, right? So it obviously means we're going to eat, well, let me say it like this. You have a plus, then a minus, or a minus, then a minus. Every time you see that formation, you're going to be subtracting. If you see a minus, then plus, or a plus, then plus, you're going to add, right? So you either add 2 positives or 2 negatives. That's the minus, plus, and plus, plus. But once you have a plus, minus, or minus, minus, you will be subtracting, right? So the question is, can we subtract this 35 from the 81 to get that? Well, to answer that question, you can do the reverse. Let us instead hold on. So sure, you can subtract them, but if you want to be absolutely sure, take this number, add it to this, and see if it gives you the 81, right? So let's see. So 6 plus 5, we have the 11. There we go. There we go. So all we have to do is put our x beside them, and that solves the problem, yeah? Yeah. So there we go. All right, there we go. So we found our replacement. We have a plus 81 and a minus 35. Yeah. Plus 81 with a minus 35. So let's see. So let's so I have 45 here. We have the Okay, hold on. Before I do anything. Oh, the blue me for use, not the red. Give me a second. Let's do that. Alright, now let's see if this lives up to the hype. There we go. Right. Yeah, so if you subtract the 35 from the 81, you'll end up with the 46. Yeah? Yeah, so the prime numbers never fail me, you know? Never fail, never fail. Never once failed me. Not even one time. Oh, sure. Yeah. So, how's that for the Auto Mini 1Bossman show? How's that? How's that? Yeah, everybody have them role, you know. The teacher, the content creator for social media, the person that talks anime and film and cinema, and then the person that talks MMA. Yeah, I think the whole of we tired. Alright? Yeah, the whole of we tired. So, hopefully you've enjoyed the show. I'll probably try to do this once a week. I don't think I can do it. I don't think we can do this. See? I have to remember, I have to stay in character. Stay in character. Lock in. Lock in. You have to be consistent with your dissociative identity disorder. You have to. Yeah. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that. I go about my business. Yeah, so here's that. So big up yourselves. Thank you. You know what? May I glitch right now. Since we all have an agreement and we all understand, this has been Auto Mini 1Bossman. Yeah? There you go. Yeah. Since we all have an agreement and we all understand, this has been Auto Mini 1Bossman. So that was Bossman Teaching. This is Bossman Digital Media. So again, since we all have an agreement and we all understand, this has been Auto Mini 1Bossman. Okay, yeah, that took a little while, don't it? Oh, watch out. Hold on. See? Perspective is everything. Anyway, yeah. Fix up, man. Tighten up. Anyway, yeah, the whole way have to say goodbye, don't it? So again, that was watch out. Come on, man. Tighten up, man. Tighten up. So again, watch out. Stop playing with me, man. Stop playing with me. Yeah. Why don't do that? Anyway, yeah, since we all have an agreement and we all understand this has been out of many, one boss man. This is the Bossman Cinema. This is the Admiral Fit. For when I start talking about One Piece and all of these things, yeah, video games, anime, you know, anything cinematic, anything dramatic, you know what I mean? So yeah, anyway, yeah, so before it was Bossman Teaching, then Bossman Digital Media, then this is Bossman Cinema. So yeah, and now, last but not least, since we all have an agreement, we all understand, I will now take you to the last one boss man. You know what? It's alright, it's alright. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Alright, so yes. Since we all have an agreement and we all understand, this has been out of many, one boss man. This is the one that spoke about the situation with Johnny Bones Jones, right? Yeah, this is our way of wrapping up the show. Yeah, so started with a little MMA, then went into anime, then talked about a little social media best practices kind of thing, and then after that it was mathematics. Yeah, so anyway, hope you enjoyed the show, right? Since we all have an agreement and we all understand, this has been out of many, one boss man.